The Blue Lock Chapter 321 officials are here, and with the title being Insatiable, it's fair to say that Japan still has nothing but goals on their mind. This chapter gives us the aftermath of ITOSHI RIN's monster goal, more insight from Henri and Ego, and even the return of Prime Isagi, who's now out here verbally harassing opponents like it's part of his daily cardio. As usual, make sure you subscribe to my channel and comment below if you enjoy these breakdowns, and check out my community Discord link down below to talk all things Blue Lock with me and others. Anyways, please enjoy the video, and I'll see you next time. The chapter begins with the announcers and crowd screaming in celebration as in the last chapter, ITOSHI RIN just scored an incredible super goal to push Japan even further ahead at 3-0. Up in the audience, we even see Isagi Yoichi's parents and Bachira's mother cheering together, and it's actually a really wholesome moment to see how invested and proud they are of their kids. ITOSHI RIN's goal was even so good it had random girls in the crowd hugging and jumping up and down, so I guess he really just has emo motion like that. We then see Rin in his iconic stance, slouching down with his tongue out while facing off with Isagi. The stadium plays back the replay of the goal, specifically that disrespectful moment where Rin used Isagi's back to set up the shot like it's a kill cam or something. You already know that in universe, this is going TikTok viral. The announcers are practically trying to rage bait Isagi at this point, even emphasizing using Yoichi's back. No, borrowing his back. Like, come on bro. At least they're acknowledging how insane the chemistry is between Isagi and Rin in that moment, showing off how perfectly the two read each other's movements to break through the midfield. Rin's finish officially puts Japan up 3-0 over Japan, and for a first international match, this is a ridiculous debut for Blue Lock Japan. With Isagi smirking, he asks Rin if he planned that all along, and he just shrugs it off, saying all he did was keep his eyes on Isagi. As Anazi tried to block their movement, Rin already knew that Isagi would likely use his twin gun volley to score past him if given the chance. So acting purely on instinct, Rin went in for himself, stealing the glory and securing the goal in the most destructive way possible. The next panel gives us a sick camera angle from behind the ball as Rin continues to talk, saying that he'll transcend Isagi by fully devoting himself to his scoring impulses. The man sounding awfully familiar to another striker we all know that he also hates. Rin even says that once his older brother Itoshi Sai joins the national team, he'll be a striker capable of completely negating Sai's existence, and I mean, yeah, okay buddy, whatever you say. We'll come back to this chapter in a year or so during the Spain match, and I will bet money that Rin is not cool and composed then. Isagi, of course, isn't one to be outdone though, and has to go band for band with his rival. He just wipes the sweat from his face and tells Rin that this is all good news, because the more he grows, the better he can use him as a stepping stone to evolve himself. The banter between these two is peak Blue Lock energy, and watching them both challenge and respect each other at the same time is what makes this rivalry so fun. Meanwhile, we see Bachira, Chigure, and Kerasu hyping themselves up, all claiming that the next goal will be theirs. I don't know about that. The scene then switches over to the Blue Lock Japan sidelines, where Henri is losing her mind in celebration. Corona gives her the meanest side eye imaginable, but it's probably just because he didn't get to start with his dynamic duo partner. Henri says that the first match of a tournament is always difficult, but despite that, all of their players are performing incredibly. She notes that their offense is perfect, their ability to adapt and find scoring patterns is exceptional, and honestly, it's just nice seeing her act so supportive. It gives off Blue Lock mother energy, and it's great as they need this positive influence in their life from somebody that helped nurture them. Ego then speaks from behind her, saying that thanks to Rin's undeniable talent and mental fortitude, he's truly a natural-born striker who meets every condition to be considered a hero. He sits up in his chair just to flex the luxury watch on everyone, and continues to say that there's more than one path to becoming a hero. As we see other Blue Lock players like Ryu, Nico, Aiku, and even Hiyori, he explains that egoism doesn't just have one form. Each player's ideals and goals can coexist as long as they all follow their personal ego. He reminds Henri not to forget that pushing them individually is the key, because that's what Blue Lock's system is designed to do, draw out every ounce of potential. The perspective then shifts to a drained and battered Nigeria squad. The clock shows only 15 minutes left in this match, which honestly makes me question how fast time moves in Blue Lock and how these plays are happening. Like, what is the time frame? But Nigeria seems to fully understand just how outclassed they are. They know there's no realistic way to score 3 goals now, yet Bello begins speaking up to rally his team. Somehow, in the middle of this public demolition, Bello starts asking his teammates if they're having fun like he is. We gotta be joking here. Aura begins radiating around them as Oboa admits that even though this is brutal, mimicking Blue Lock's style and focusing on their own individual goals is a feeling he's never experienced before. 2 of their NPC teammates shout out that they're just happy to not be Onazi FC anymore. Meanwhile, Bello continues to say that it might be impossible to win, but he still wants to aim for just 1 point. Waving his arms around with passion, Bello declares that if they can just score 1 goal, something inside of them will change and they will evolve. The other Nigerian players start chanting, "We can change," which sounds nice in theory, but Onazi and Kusa both look like they're watching a car crash. The smiles and confidence are gone, and the reality of being down 3-0 is hitting them hard. I thought Onazi's joy was unbreakable, but Japan's been humbling these guys so bad that even he looks like he's reconsidering his life choices. And that's when Isagi Yoichi walks straight into their little team talk like he owns the place. This man literally strolls up and tells them, "It's pointless. Give it up." Bello is sweating like he's staring at the sun, and Isagi continues comparing them to little kids who just watched a movie and got overly inspired. It is crazy disrespectful, but also kind of peak Isagi behavior. Half of me hates it, and half of me thinks, if only Kaiser were here. We then get a chibi demonstration of someone watching the Demon Slayer Infinity Castle movie as Isagi continues explaining that they've just absorbed inspiration from something external. They see something cool, feel motivated for a bit, and think that they've changed, but that's just temporary ego. It fades by the next morning when they go back to their normal routine, and he says that their little pep talk isn't enough to actually change them, that it's just a momentary rush. Aboa and Bello fire back, asking what the hell Isagi even knows about them. But let me tell you something. He does not back off for 1 second. Like, he's channeling the spirit of Pack God here, and immediately points out that they keep using words like we and us. He says that by framing everything as a group effort, that they're avoiding personal discomfort and diluting responsibility. It's just mass psychology, and they share the blame so no one feels individually guilty. He tells them straight up that real growth only comes when they each take responsibility as an individual. Then tapping on his head like Omni-Man giving a TED Talk, he tells them to really think about what they feel right now, fighting against Blue Lock Japan. He wants them to strip away everything and face that question honestly. Like, what am I even reading right now? This man is so ego-hungry and bored that he's trying to boost the level of his competition just so they can run it back. Onazi finally clenches his fist from behind and speaks up, saying he feels nothing but frustration. Isagi turns and sees Onazi's face twisted in anger and disappointment, a huge change from how carefree he was earlier. He says he doesn't want things to end like this, but at his current level, he knows he can't beat Blue Lock. Even Kuso is shocked because this is probably the first time since childhood Onazi has looked genuinely defeated or angry. Isagi though sees opportunity in that. He tells Onazi that frustration is good. It's a sign that he still wants something more. He asks Onazi if he just wants a comfortable life with his friends, which Onazi immediately rejects. Then Isagi asks if he's maybe just chasing the title of Nigeria's hero, and Onazi yells back no again. Finally, Onazi shouts what he truly wants, is to become the best striker in the entire world. Now that declaration puts a smile on Isagi's face. He tosses the ball towards Onazi and tells him to prove it, to try his best to crush Blue Lock Japan and change their lives through ego. Onazi catches the ball smiling and tells Isagi that he's the real deal. Then he asks where his insatiable ego comes from because this dude's energy feels superhuman at this point. And honestly, that's the question we've all been wondering for a long time. You know what they say, this man has 2 loving parents, a stable home, and somehow more dog in him than anyone I know. Isagi, however, knows exactly what fuels him. As he walks away, his body begins disintegrating into puzzle pieces, symbolizing that his ego is constantly shifting and evolving, and his eyes turn crystal clear in the flow state. The narration at the bottom of this page says, 44 days ago, Yoichi Isagi's ego transformed, implying that in the next chapter, we will be jumping back in time to his solo training around Europe. Maybe we'll see how that trip completely reshaped his mindset and developed this ruthless version of him, and some fans think it might connect to his interactions with Bunny Iglesias, but I feel like it runs deeper than that. Something happened in Europe that changed how he perceives the game and himself entirely. With that, Blue Lock Chapter 322 will officially release on October 21st with the title Myself, likely focusing on Isagi's individual evolution and what triggered his transformation. I'm hyped to finally see more of what happened during his off-screen training, and maybe we'll even see another big match just like we did with the Copa del Rey finals. If you have any thoughts or theories on what could happen next, make sure to drop them down below as I always love reading your predictions. And as usual, if you enjoy keeping up with all things Blue Lock, take a moment to hit that subscribe button and comment below to help out the channel. Of course, feel free to join my community Discord linked below too if you'd like to chat with me or others about the manga. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video shortly.